Let's do this. Okay, so hello, and welcome to a bit of a different video slash live stream. We're going to be hopping on to Star Citizen for tonight, as I've had a bit of a intense day at work. I'm going to pop that off there, and I'm going to hit that bit there.
A nomad and cutter will be.
I'm trying to think if I can try and do this as I intended. I can hopefully get the volume mixer working just right.
Out there, dudes.
Thank you, Ava, and it looks like they're ready. Yes, they have started down here. The Nomad is off to a great start with the first Sulan not far behind.
You know what? I might just go with the music for Star Citizen. No, Star Citizen. Synthwave stuff. Because that kind of makes a bit more sense, and it's not so random. So, guess not for that one, but instead, get the Minecraft going. Do-do-do. Get in it set up. Get in it set up. Let's go. And there we go. Yep, that works. I think if we can try it. There we go. Right, we'll put it to 1. Maybe put it for 2 just to start what? There we go. Right, okay, so get rid of this funny mixer. Right, that's there, that's there. So yes, hello and welcome to some Star Citizen this evening. I was planning on doing a live stream with regards to like Minecraft, but I'm kind of not really in the mood to do anything too strenuous today. So I thought I'm gonna go for something simple and easy for my brain. And I thought, what better opportunity than have a crack at Star Citizen? So I'm gonna hop in and we're gonna have, I think Asia probably the best in regards to that. So today we're just gonna hop in and do some some salvaging, and we're gonna just see how things go. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm gonna be experimenting with this one because I've not actually done a live stream with Star Citizen with 60 frames per second 1080p for a while. I don't know if my system can handle it. I've got a setting set up so that way we can have a crack at I know I have a system set up that allows us to stream at a lower resolution but at 60 frames roughly. So if we can do something like that, that'll be great. So oops. So this is new territory-ish, but we'll see. Oh, we're already a couple of minutes behind in terms of buffering. It's taken a while to load up. It is a Friday evening during a free fly, if I'm not mistaken. So, could be problematic. I'm like, oh yeah. Though I am trying to hop into an Asian server, so maybe that might not be the best. I don't know, actually. We'll see. Oh, hello. Alright, I have frames. I'm in. Right. So, obviously, in terms of live streaming, I might not be able to immediately answer your questions or anything else like that because it might seem like I'm not doing anything for a while. But what we can have is the... I mean, I say this is primarily just an experimentational side of things. But we'll see how it goes. I think I'll adjust the audio slightly. There we go. So it's not like quite as dominating. There we go. Yeah, there we go. There's something going for us. Right. So We're on Lawville at the moment, which, I won't lie, I'm actually getting to like a bit more now. As unlikely as that, as a concept as that is, I'm actually beginning to like Lawville, which is kind of scary. It's like, oh shit, I'm beginning to have feelings for this place. I used to hate this place. I still do to a small degree. But, oh! I hate you too, Lawville. The fuck? Is there a sandstorm or something? Oh. There is. Really bad by the weather. Yeah, the wind's really bad. What's the air quality like? Bad. Wind is bad. I could hear the wind. You could hear the wind as well. Jesus. Didn't realize there was such a thing. Jesus. Well, that would explain why there's sand everywhere. Yeah. No kidding. GG. All I'm gonna say. Oh. Yeah, so... Yeah, no, I mean, when it comes to Lawville, I think it's going to be... It's growing on me. I think as more functionality comes into it and they update certain features and certain textures, Lawville becomes becomes more interesting, becomes more entertaining, and I do start to like it a bit more. Does that mean I will like it over places like Microtech, Horizon, or my absolute favorite place, Levski? God, no. I miss Levski. I really do. That's my favorite settlement of all time. Not even gonna lie, that is my favorite settlement. Because, like, Levski was the perfect blend of, like, chaos, but chaotically good. You know? Like, it was an independent city, you know, it was independent from the UEE, and it was all about utilitarian. But it wasn't just, I'm a raider faction. It's not like Pyro, where everything basically is falling apart because there is literally no decent people there. It's just, it's there, people are trying to mind their own business, but it's, you know, it's, and people can fix it, it's just they can't always fix it with the right sort of thing. So, yeah, no, it's not as optimal as it could have been. But yeah, no, I love Levski. I love Levski. I miss Levski. Levski was such a good place. Question. Did I have shit in this or not? I want to say... Vehicle... Is there a way to check if your ship has cargo inside? I can't tell. Without having to go into an admin office and quickly checking, and we've already got the train through there, so I probably should have looked into the admin. I mean, I could just go into the ship and then we can see if there's anything inside it, couldn't we? Yeah, that works.
Welcome. Please visit
In a
us
weird
again.
way that works.
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
So look. So the ship I'm talking about, the ship in question I'm talking about is, of course, the Drake Vulture.
Vehicle select. Your vehicle has been delivered.
The
to the
entry-level salvaging ship, which allows you to complete minor level salvaging missions. Nothing too intensive, but nothing too crazy either. It's a bit of a shame that we can't really do much. Like, there's not an intermediate ship. I would love to have one of those because, my God, would not mind some of those. Especially when it comes to building up. Because obviously at the moment, all we've got available is the Drake Vulture and the Aegis Reclaimer. So The real question will be is not so much who will... Yeah, I would say it's not so much whether or not we will get an intermediate version of a salvage ship, but more to do with what brand of ship maker will give us this thing. I'd like to say... I'd like to say Misk, though Argo also would be a wonderful ship manufacturer to make for this thing, because obviously, you know, and it would make sense for Misk to have that. Ah, yeah, no, that's fine, yeah, we got it.
You are clear to launch.
Yep, we can get up. Oop. There we go. No, but basically, the main reason why I'm saying this is because, like... So yeah, my hypotheticals when it comes to what are the ships that we'll be utilizing, I reckon Argo. I'd like Argo to be the ship manufacturer to do this, because I feel like Argo would be the best choice.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Like, I feel like Argo would be the right fit for a salvaging vessel, and considering the fact that with Argo ships at the current moment...
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Yeah, I really do need to probably find a better button for that. But I feel like Argo is the... Argo's only had, like, what? Transportation and mining? They've not really done any other kind of roles, despite supposedly being an industrial-style vessel group. So having a salvaging vessel would be a logical standpoint in terms of role progression and whatnot. Also, due to their utilitarian and modular nature, of all the ship types or the chassis you could utilize for salvaging, or at least larger forms of salvaging, more than, for example, the Vulture could have, like, I reckon Argo could do it. I very much reckon Argo could do that. Now, so now a question would be not so much, 90, there we go. So now the other question would be, obviously, how much more would you have in terms of internal cargo space? Because obviously the far end of the scale, you've got the Reclaimer, which has, I believe, 210? Wait, what? Is it still giving me a landing pad? Oh my god, it has. Right. I'm gonna quantum to the nearest. Nope. I mean, theoretically speaking, I could scroop ships. I wish you could have that. Wait. Oh, there you are. Here you are. Right. Let's have a look. See. Salvage. See, there isn't a intermediate, which I think is making a lot of these mining runs a bit pointless. I mean, for example, when it comes to mining vessels, the best vessel for you to go for is the where is it? Well, actually, maybe not. I could try something a bit more advanced. Let's go for the 400i. Only question is, whereabouts is it? Let's have a look, see. Avengers, Titan Renegade, Star... Good fucking luck with that one. Oh, there it is. That one is over in Arc L3 Modern Express Station. Whereabouts is L3? Arc L3 is over there. Okay. Is there a station? Oh, there isn't. There is a station. Okay. Might be a thing we can do. Yeah. Okay, let's give it a bash. I mean, it's going to take us a while to do this, so might as well give it a bash. So give me 400 on that one. Not cheap for me. But one can hope we can get that stuff. So, yep. Fantastic. Right. And we might as well get the call to arms just in case. I'm not going for combat for this one, but... Go fish. The fuck is go fish? Oh, wow. Oh, risky RSI. Cutlass Black, clean up. Mercenary, get the... There's a lot of things here for, like, from Ninetales. So, none of these I'd want to complete, because, again... no proof. Chance to impress. Right. I think this one's for on... Yes, yes, on Hurston. You could also meet up with some dudes. Anyway, we need to go to Express Station. So I've got an idea, and I'm thinking this might be a good shout. So, I've got a plan. The plan in question will be... I'm going to go over to the... I'm going to be scrapping the 400i. And then I'm going to ferry whatever stuff I can get. Oh, nice. It's not that far away from the station. It's really not that far away from the station. And I'm basically going to go to and from, to and from, to and from, to and from. Is it really practicable? May not be. But I'm just thinking, if I can land at the station, call my C1, the C1 Spirit, maybe then I could transfer the Scroop to... Wait a minute. I can't do that, can I? I think I'm thinking a patch ahead, because I'd have my own internal hangar. Yeah, there's nowhere to store it. Surely I could unload the cargo at a hangar. Just trying to think. Surely I can unload the cargo at a hangar, or unload it into another ship. Like I can, if I have another ship in the. No, I don't think I can I? Well, damn. So unless I sell the construction stuff, it's going to be very difficult to get the scrap. Unless this particular station is selling scrap, in which case I'll take the scrap. But I'm just thinking, I'm not going to get much for this, am I? No, I think I've genuinely made a bit of a poofar here. Because I was going under the impression I could just transfer the stuff over to my C1, whereupon then I can obviously plonk it into place. Which, if I had gotten the C1 set up alongside it, but then how the fuck am I supposed to fly back if it's just me? This is where I think having a reclaimer would be so much better. Or the personalized hangars, which, again, I think if I had the hangars, and it allows me to plop the stuff in, then that would make more sense, wouldn't it? But we don't. So I've basically spent £20,000 on something that isn't going to be that useful. Because my internal bay is going to get filled up faster than you can say shit. Unless I can have someone hop into the same group. Which obviously... Yeah. I'd need to hop into a thing for that, so... I'll see if there's like a Discord. See if anyone's busy with something. I'll just see. I'll see. I'll try and see if I can get like a Discord set up. Or see if I can get someone to hop in. See if I can get like a friend to hop in with me. And then I could be like, hey, do you want me to do something with it? Ooh. Okay. See if there's anything going on. Saturday 24th. And of course no one is online. Well, this is going to be an interesting one. Right. We'll just see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. I mean, I know I can salvage some stuff, but it's more like, is it possible for me to salvage this and, like, scroop it? Because the 400i is not a small ship. It's no Cutlass Black, and I know I can get a Cutlass Black. Like, if I get a ship like the Venture out, I can get the ship. I can get, like, this thing whole set up. But it's just, unfortunately, we need to get, like... I need to get this thing set up and sorted. Which, obviously, not as easy with just a Vulture. So I'm just trying to think, is there a way I can possibly do this? Where I can transfer the cargo? Because I know I can do it with the other ship. Unless I can manually, like... If I fanny ass around, pull the ship out. But the thing is, I'd have to fly a certain distance away in order to do that. So I'd have to land my ship by a pad. If I figure out what pad I was at, call my other ship out, transfer the stuff in between. Could be doable. Could be doable. Maybe. Maybe. Well, I think I have an idea. I think I may have made a mistake, but I think I can rectify that mistake. I think I can partly rectify that mistake. But it's gonna be an interesting thing. Right, let me just clear the thing for that one. Guys. Yeah, Modern Express. Like, I am not just gonna fly there. Oh yeah, so I'm thinking if I can get to this location, I should be able to do something. Yeah. Yeah, so if I get there, then we can get over to the thing, start scrooping this thing for what it's worth. Yeah. Start scrooping this thing for what it's worth. So I'm going to land at the station, pick up the ship, then request my ship to, store my ship, then, request the C1 that I've got to be set there, because I don't think there's anything on my C1 I don't particularly need. And then I can basically go to a nearest pad, drop the stuff off. Yeah, that makes sense. In a really, really abstract way, I think I can do what I'm aiming to do here. It's just, obviously, the personalized hangars would be far better. Of course, That'll be something that will come in the next patch. 3.23 is going to shape up to be one of the hell. I mean, I know I've said it a lot in the past, where I've said like, "Oh, this patch is the best patch of the bunch," and "Oh, this patch is going to be amazing," and blah 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 blah. And it's like, I've said that a lot when it comes to Star Citizen, so I can appreciate where some people might be like, "Well, you've said that enough times and it's still not showing up." But like, in all honesty, this is one of the better patches to come out. Is it going to be the best patch of the game? Well, I don't know. Don't think so. But like, I think it will be a major improvement, and it will be one of the better.
Have a pleasant stay.
I think it will be one of the bigger patches to come out, and as long as they can get that working, I'll be happy for that. Right, I think.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Oh, whoops. Right, is there a pad? Yes, there is a pad. Fantastic. Right, I'm going to land above, and then I'm going to try and hop scale into that area. Head over to one of the pads. So I'll make my way towards one of those pads, and then I'll request a ship from the hangar, and then I should be able to just transfer between the two. But I'll need to fill up with as much as I can. The only question is, how much SCU am I going to be able to have? I mean, I've got 12 SCUs of cargo, like internally. So if I was to land, yeah, if I was to land in there, woo!
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay. Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
I'm just thinking, if we then, yeah, so then if I request if I can request my ship, my Spirit, like have that deliver over to this side, I can then basically take off, go do the Scrooping run, and then come back to this station, and then get that stuff sorted. That's the plan. That's a plan. If I go to the Discord, is there a live streaming? I think Star Citizen. Right. Oops. Right, let's hop inside
Welcome
this thing.
to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Right, so Crusader Industries, Inferno, C1 Spirit. There you go.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
That is really fucking quick.
Thank you.
Seriously,
Please visit us again.
that is really fucking quick. Right, what's the hangar? Hangar number 1. Nice. That is quick. Like, that is really quick. For a C1 Hercules Spirit. I'm gonna say, if they give us fucking 3 minutes for a Hercules. Oh! I'll be like, oh my god! Anyway. Right, I have an idea. It's gonna work. Yes. Ladder. Right, let's see. I love the ladder in this thing. I love the ladder in this thing. It's so fucking useful. I love it. Right. Right. Only downside I can see with this is that I'm going to have to come back over to here if I'm wanting to do anything in terms of reclaiming my ship. Which is not great.
You are clear to launch.
It's very much not good, but considering the fact that this is the workaround that we're having to work, this is a workaround. So, like, obviously, this is not the final form. But if we can get that stuff... Oh, my God. Right, okay. Right. For some reason, my ship is glowing like a motherfucker. Luckily for us, it doesn't look like it's in the asteroid field. Yay! Alright. Okay. Sweet. Right. Love to get one of these. Oh, nice. Yep, I'll open that. So yeah, this is the beautiful 400i, and I'm not gonna lie, there's almost nothing wrong with this ship. Ah, but there's obviously something wrong with it because the ship's lights are flashing. What do we got? Open up. Scrap. So scrap, scrap, scrap. Processed food. Oi! Iron, iron. Ooh, gold. Nice. And what are you? More iron. Scrap. Right, this is gold. I'll move la gold. Gold, gold. Always believe in your soul. You've got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe in. There we go. Hey. Pop the button. And away we go. So. I booped you. And I boop you again. Right, there we go. Sweet. Let's just take that other stuff gone, and then let's go for a bit of a Scroop run. I won't lie, since getting into salvaging, I've been really enjoying my time playing this game. Like, it's a very smooth, therapeutic process. And it's actually been quite profitable as well. Normally when it comes to playing stuff like mining, or if it comes to stuff like mercenary work, there's only so many times you can do something before it becomes a bit boring and repetitive and but this, I'm enjoying this. I am enjoying this. My only wish is that we had a bigger ship to work with. But obviously we're looking forward but obviously, you know, patch 3.23 is going to be the one to hopefully fix a few issues. Primarily the whole primarily the interior, you know, the internal hangar bay. Because can you imagine being able to do like some solid fucking runs? Like, bearing in mind, you get all your scrap salvage together, and then what I was thinking we could do for some reason, but I don't know why I brained out, but I did. Right. So we're going to try and start salvaging. I forgot to close the door behind me. It's fine. I think what we'll do is we'll do the usual up and around sort of thing. So. Okay. Some much needed Scroop. And then I imagine this particular ship is going to be a bit of a pain in the arse to salvage, just because of the sheer nature of the this particular ship. It's like quite. It's quite angled and very, very unique in that respect. But as a result, it means that there's a lot of oh shit. Okay. Should be the thing. I think it might just have to be something we do on the side rather than something we do underneath, because I know that some things are like better to be done on the top down, but when it comes to salvaging in this respect, this will be a good opportunity. I'm just thinking if we can increase the amount of salvage we can get out of this thing on the side. Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. Yeah, I think that's what I'll probably do, is once I've filled up the internal cargo bay with as much as I can, and then sell off, well, I'll then try and see if I can get, like, a few runs out of this thing. The only problem I can sense is I'd have to... Well, no, because what I could do is I could empty my vulture as much as possible, and then, yeah, then I just empty my vulture as much as possible, then, yeah, then that way I empty the vulture as much as possible, I then can pop whatever I can into the... Then I pop, whatever's left is hardly worth trying to save, because it'll only be like, what, 1 SCUs, maybe half an SCU on both accounts. which then allows me to then go straight into the next phase, which will then be even more. So then when I finally decide, you know what, this is a good enough run, this will be an interesting tactic. Because obviously, it's not immediately profitable, but if it is, you know, once you get to the point where you do start having a profit, then you can actually start having some serious benefit. You can, as a kind of midway point, obviously still want to have the benefits of the nice... I'm just thinking as part of like trying to earn a bit more out of this particular thing than usual, until such times as a medium-based salvage ship comes through. Oh yeah, so we're just talking a bit about going back to the whole medium-based salvage ship anyway. I'd say, yeah, like I'd say I'd say Argo would be the best ship makers for it, because apart from mining and transportation, we haven't really seen any diversification in the job roles that you can take. But we know that the Argo Aeronautics is primarily industrial in design. Like, it's mainly industrial for, like, the lore and everything. So it makes sense that Argo is... it would make sense for Argo to go the salvage route, and to have a ship that is modular in the way that, like, the Mole's modular, or the Raft, or the SRV. Something that can be quite tangible when it comes to making large amounts of money from the salvage of vessels. Just having a soup to keep the wolves at bay, because we're going to be doing this for a while, so... yeah, like the amount of money that you could be making off this Scroop. I reckon you can make a large amount of cash in terms of that. And obviously, the other aspect towards salvaging, in terms of like its practicable use, such as for maintaining or repairing ships, will become way more of a factor later down the line when you've got such things as the player economy, the player-fed bases and whatnot. And obviously with base building as well, a lot of materials are utilized for that. So you could find yourself in a position where, while you could salvage and sell what materials you have for a profit, it may prove better to salvage the materials you have and use said materials in the construction of a base or the defense of a base, such as repairing items or vehicles or anything really in the base whilst preparing this thing. So, you know, just giving it a good once-over. And obviously, another benefit when it comes to salvaging is if you are, let's say there's been a player war going on, and in a particular situation, one clan has engaged another clan, and, you know, the battle has ended and there are the victor goes the spoils, you may find yourself in a bit of freelance work where it's like, hey, I want to salvage the wrecks of this ship, so maybe, you know, whatever's inside the cargo bay, legal a lot of the ways, may not be yours or may be yours for the taking, depending on how quickly you can escape. But you can find that there's still quite a lot of salvage to be made. Or maybe you're, you know, officially sanctioned by the clan who's lost the ships. Maybe they said, hey, look, we've lost a battle or we've won a battle, and we need you to help clean up. And there's a bunch of materials in here that, you know, some of the materials we're happy with you having, but there's some other materials that we'd rather you not have, or we'd rather have ourselves. So if you find them, let us know. We'll give you a reward for it, and you get to have whatever's left of the scraps. You know, like, it's that kind of concept of like being able to earn money off just surviving wars and fights, which you don't have in a space in a sci-fi element. But that is still, I would say, a very reasonable, very what's the word? Not respectable. I think that's probably the better word to go for it. A more respectable style of of playthrough. Because the thing is, you know, CIG, you know, in this kind of universe where there's going to be thousands of players going on at one time, you don't want the servers being all buggy because of all the shipwrecks, because, you know, the whole persistent entity streaming thing. So it would make sense for the shipwrecks to, you know, after a while, either decay or to be scrapped upon. So if you have the incentive to, like, scrap the enemy vessel, or scrap your own vessel, or scrap, you know, a vessel that's been left out in the verse, it just gives that extra gameplay loop. And it allows you to remove wrecks in an immersive factor, whilst also introducing them as a gameplay loop, which I think is a pretty damn good thing. I mean, to be fair, the only thing that would make it even more cool is, once these facilities are out, and you can do stuff with them, is for you to be able to more directly influence what you're manufacturing through the materials you use from salvage ships. Because I would love it to, like, build a wall with a bit of a ship. Like, if you're in an outpost and you need to do something on the higher up, it'd be like, you can either salvage it, make your own sort of prefabricated wall, or you could just rip a chunk off a ship and then just stick it in the ground. That'll be funny. That would be funny. Right. So we're at about 2.9 in that respect. I can appreciate that some people might find salvaging to be a bit of a dull fest, perhaps, or a bit of a thing. But I personally quite like it. I find it. I said it's quite soothing. It's no different to mining in terms of its enjoyment factor. Though I suppose the difference. Actually, maybe tell a lie. It's as relaxing as mining, in my opinion. But in terms of job role, it can also get a bit more exciting with mining, only because, for example, you find that actually no. To be fair, it's not too dissimilar because you know you both finding some. You know, you're both trawling around the verse, trying to find something. Admittedly, I have a bit more choice when it comes to what I want to mine, or to salvage with the salvaging. But when it comes to a point, you're searching around the verse for something. It'll be kind of cool. You find yourself going, oh, that's so cool with the, oh, what's the word? With, like, rare materials or whatnot. Oh, my God. Oh, good Lord. Any fans of, any Origin Jumpworks fans, look away now. Jesus Christ! I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm in love with the. I love the 400i, but Jesus. I do like the 400i though. It's a nice ship. I just hope that they. I just hope that Origin Jumpworks can make more ships of this quality, because like. It feels like Origin Jumpworks are finally getting their heads on their shoulders, or the right head on their shoulders, when it comes to design. Because a lot of the other older designs of Origin Jumpworks always felt like flash and prominence with no understanding of how a ship is meant to function. So like you've got ships such as the 600i on the Explorer, which I know the 600i is due to get a rework, so in a sense there's no point in worrying about this. But at the same time, there we go. But like, even still, its overall outer design is still pretty horrendous. And if they can make something of the central area, fine. But if we take what the 600i is at the moment, oh good God, it's a fucking disaster. Same goes for the 315 series, 300 or the 300 series. You've got either a semi-decent combat vessel with not much livability inside. You've got a really ugly vessel for space exploration. You've got a fairly ugly vessel for space exploration and early stages into Star Citizen. The only relatively decent one I would say is the Racer Edition, perhaps, and the Combat Edition. Like, the 325A is okay, it does the job, I think it's quite a respectable fighter, but I feel like there are better ships out there. And I could already immediately say one thing for sure, is that the Avenger Titan fills that space very nicely. The only thing I'm hoping as a result of... well, the only thing I'm hoping in terms of... But going back to the whole thing, I would say is... I'm hoping, though, with the design philosophy of the 400i, the future designs for Origin Jump Works won't fall into that funky looking but glamorous because Origin style that they've been utilizing so often with their older ships, making any sort of real logical based design output almost impossible to find. Excuse me. Because, like, the thing that makes me love the 400i so much is that while it is flashy, it is rich, it's refined, it's all of the things that make Origin Jump Works what Origin Jump Works, but it also takes into account its role, its its intended purpose, and you never see that with other ships. You really don't. You really, really don't. And it's so jarring and frankly disappointing when you see what kind of potential could be had. So when it comes to like the 400i, so it's so jarring when you see it with other ships, not do that. So with the 400i, because it finally decides, hey, you know what, I'm going to actually pay attention to the role I'm designated to be, and instead of just being all about the flash, I have the ability to go, hey, look, check it out now, the Funk's old brother. And it looks good as a result. And it's practicable. The space isn't so wide and ridiculous. The hangar bay is, the cargo bay is a respectable size. It's not overwhelmingly stupid. You could park a couple of good vehicles in there. It has its own dedicated bike hangar bay. So if you ever get yourself a hover bike or a proper bike, then that is also a thing you can do. It still has that luxurious trait to it, but it's not the only thing it has to it. And I think that's what makes the whole thing so enjoyable to walk around. And I remember when I went into it for the first time, I remember very clearly looking at it and immediately judging it, thinking it's going to be just a piece of shit. It's going to be another Origin Jump Works, garbage with all flash, no substance, doesn't do anything useful, just sits there and explodes the moment you look at it with any relative, closely representing a weapon. But I was wrong, because as I walked through it, it felt right, it felt logical, it felt practicable, but glamorous. And that's what an Origin Jump Works ship should always be. Glamorous, flashy with all of the exotic stuff that you can use on it, but still a practicable ship. And some of their older designs really didn't have that. So long may this new logic of Origin Jump Works continue. And hopefully... the future designs will be inspired by the 400 and not by the 600. That would suck ass. Like a lot. God, I'm getting so much scroop. If you have any questions as well, don't hesitate to ask. I'm aiming to try and I like to help out as many new players as possible. Anything in regards to Star Citizen, well, within logical reason, if you can see why is Star Citizen, we'll be here for hours because we'd be in a massive philosophical debate. But questions for learners and everything else, I'll do my best to answer as best as I can. But yeah. Yeah, the plan is we're going to try and see if we can use this option to salvage as much as we can off this vessel. And to be fair, this is also really fucking soothing for my brain right now. Like Minecraft, you have to kind of think a bit, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really after today. Prior to today, I was like, yeah, Minecraft, that sounds like a plan. We can do things and stuff will happen. But then I'm like, after today, I'm like, no, stuff has happened. My brain is on repair mode. Oh, sorry, limp home mode. I need to have something simple. And yeah. But to be fair, we've already got a fair amount of the ship being salvaged. I've got to be careful not to salvage too much, otherwise I'm going to end up actually, there's another thing. Can I even fracture this ship? I might not be able to do anything except scroop it. I think I've underestimated the capacity for this vehicle. I know if I had the reclaimer, I'd be in the clear. But at the moment, there's not a lot of benefits, except, obviously, if we can. But we'll see. We'll see. What I might also do is... Oh, hey, Sam. Just a smidge. I haven't had a coffee in a bit, so that's probably why. Actually, question, Semper. If you're up for being on a bit of a live stream, do you want to help me with getting some salvage? I'm stealing all of the yawning capacities of the thing. I was gonna hop onto the Discord, but then no one was on, so I was like, okay. But yeah, if you're up for doing some assistance with salvaging, it's basically I kind of made a poo-poo brain decision, and I was thinking, oh, I can do this salvage run, and then I could get I could like put the shit. I could put my C1 Spirit into the hangar or into the station nearby, and I could just transfer the internal cargo from one ship to another. And I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, I'll hop onto the Discord if anyone's about, but I don't know. I don't know if there'll be anything. Game and chill, no Star Citizen. Yep, I'll hop onto the Discord. So we'll see. Oops. There we go. I'll need to have like a dedicated streaming channel or something like that, just so we know. Oh, you're in the room with me, Senpai. Okay, welcome, Senpai.
Afternoon. Evening, good night, whichever it is.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I just thought because I don't know how much. Offhand, do you know how much SCU a C1 Spirit can transport? Is it like 48 or 64?
Oh, yeah, don't ask me. I don't know. Let's have a look. This might sound strange, but I use Startle. I know it's a game.
Startle?
But, well, you know Wordle, right? The game?
No.
Like where you have to guess the word. You have, like, so many attempts.
Never played it, no.
Okay. Which ship are you talking about?
The C1 Spirit.
C1 Spirit. It's 64 SCU.
Nice. Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's just because I'm currently salvaging a Crusader. What's a Crusader? A 400i, and I made a bit of a poofar decision in my head. Basically, I thought I could transfer the internal cargo of the. Yeah, I thought I could transfer the internal cargo of the Vulture whilst it was in hangar to another ship. And I'm like, I don't think we can do that yet. So I was going to try and move... So I've summoned my C1 Spirit. And basically I was going to...
I'm not sure that's the right word.
I was going to summon the C1 Spirit and basically I'd park my Vulture outside on like near a pad, scramble inside, spawn the C1 Spirit, transfer all the cargo from my Vulture into the Spirit, and then park the Spirit back in, move the Vulture back out, continue the salvaging of the 400i, and then once I'd finished that process, repeat the process again and try and earn a bit of a profit on that one. But obviously, it would be far easier if I had someone just get into the game with me, fly a Spirit up to this particular thing, and then basically we transfer the stuff. Because I don't have a recliner, but I can transfer one box SCU boxes into the C1. And obviously, if you do decide to hop in, I'll happily pay you. We can work out the differences. I'll do like a 50-50 split.
I don't mind helping. I don't know where I am in game right now though, so...
I'm over at Arc L3.
My game's loading up. Gonna be back and forth to the kitchen though, but once I've got my food I can
Yeah, I've only just had
sit
like,
and
soup and stuff.
babysit a ship while
Oh yeah, I mean effectively you could just sit inside.
quote unquote scroop.
I mean, to be fair, you could just sit there and you could sit inside the C1 whilst I do all the work in that one. So you wouldn't even have to do anything, but it would just be your presence would be all that we need for that one, and then potentially depending on how much salvage we get into the Spirit, if it's like 64 SCU, we could potentially go to another ship and then salvage that as well, and then we can have a bit of a larger profit. And then I could try and use my mathematical skills, of which I have none, to estimate the fair share price and cost, and then stuff. Because I don't want to. Because I definitely will. I always want to share out what we do for work-wise.
So, Baker's just counting dozens, right?
Well, I don't work at a bakery anymore.
So your maths must have got better, right?
It is, but my brain is also tired, so it's like when it comes to math, I can do it, don't get me wrong, it's just it'll take a bit longer than it should, just because I'm like,
I was trying to make a funny
You made
regarding your former profession and your current profession and the trajectory of your maths.
It's fine, you made it funny and it worked.
I think my funnies are getting worse though, because I keep having to explain them to people.
I think it's more like you need to give them more time to burn through. Sometimes you kind of go into the explanation a bit too quick.
Well,
and sometimes also the joke needs, if you're going to go for a dad joke, you have to let it stand. People will just absorb it. Then again, there are some people who just don't get the
I'm
joke.
in need of instant gratification from my jokes.
Ha ha.
And I think I've just come to expect that people don't get it, so I just, I'll start with the explanation and then I'll do the joke. Maybe that'd be more efficient.
That wouldn't probably work. That probably won't work. But there you go. See, good one. Good one. Is 323 out yet?
No.
Damn it. Hi, Ice Paul. Welcome to the stream.
323 isn't in 323.
Damn it! No, my luck. As soon as, well, no, your luck. As soon as they announce 323 is going to come out the next day, they're going to be like, "Yeah, about all those things that we talked about."
Okay, where am I?
Right. So let me know when you're in the verse, and I'll send you a party invite.
Well, that I have already achieved.
Oh, have you now? Oh, you jumped in on the server I was on.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay, hang on. Let me just quickly.
It would have been a little bit foolish to join a different server.
Well, I didn't want to assume that the server I was in was not full, but I see you, inviting you to the party. Hopefully, you'll get a pip.
I would think so.
Could have sworn I had another can of Monster's Energy. Oh well. Not the end of the world. Did you get the invite, or did it not work? Any questions at all you have, IFS, Iceball? We'll do our best to answer. I am by no means an expert, but I will do my best. Well, I'd say I know a fair amount on the lore side, as well as most of the ships. Components I'm still getting to grips with. Christ, I remember looking at my old... I remember looking at the earlier versions of the IAEs I would do, and my god, I knew fuck all. Yeah, so we're just salvaging this 400i, and we're just going to try it, and I'm going to be doing something with Semper. Semper's basically just going to hop on and be a glorious assistant in grabbing up all the salvage of this thing, because unfortunately the Drake Vulture does not have quite enough, like, it doesn't quite have the storage capacity of the Reclaimer, which has, like, I think over 200 SCUs worth of cargo to store in terms of ship design. So we have to kind of manage. We have to manage what we can, really. But if we can get a C1 Spirit filled with as much stuff as possible, then that will be at least something. And may have bitten off something a little bit more than I can chew, but I'd say that's pretty good. I'd say the 400i is quite a reasonable ship. If it was like the MSR or anything else, I'd be a bit like terrifying, but still. But yeah, this is the kind of thing I can do to, like, switch my brain off, which is really fucking therapeutic. I do love this.
Like power wash, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Emulator.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Like, I love how that game kind of just came out of nowhere, but the whole internet collectively just went, oh. Have you seen the latest Inside Star Citizen? The distribution centers and whatnot.
No. I watched the Q&A today.
It's worth. It's so worth. Like, I think, like, I'm getting the sense that they're cooking. I mean, obviously we've got 323 coming up, but I think in addition to that, Jared or whoever's inside his planning department, that is cooking up something. Because after every Inside Star Citizen episode we've had, there's always been an extra little blurb, and I'm like, something is going on. Like, something is definitely going on, and I'm like, ooh.
Well, they're making a game. but I think that's clear already.
Oh yeah, but like I'm feeling like there's something else that they're going to release alongside 323. You know, like something that's just something that they haven't told us yet. I mean, Jaeger singing. That's one thing that's like, what the fuck? But yeah, Jaeger is actually quite a good singer. And also, I also feel like he embodies the spirit, because minor spoiler for the thing, but I think it's just perfect for that. When they were talking about the distribution centers and like how you can access them, one of the developers was saying things like, yeah, so vehicles shouldn't be able to get into the distribution centers, and Jared's like, so you're saying vehicles can't get into the distribution centers? Like, no. The developer's like, yes, no, they cannot get into the distribution centers. It will be very difficult. It's impossible to get the vehicles into the distribution centers. And like Jared just comes around and is like, right, gauntlet's been laid, challenge it. You like flip middle fingers and everything. And it's like, I'm staring at this girl like, yeah, he knows. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it.
Well, of course.
It's when the developer says, oh no, you can't get vehicles inside something, the whole Star Citizen community is like, I took that personally. Did you join the party, or did you not get the invite?
I did.
Ah, question. Does that mean we have that glitch where we can't see each other in a party, or am I just not able to see you?
You are only looking at like 10% of the sky.
Ah, there you are, yes. Well, you're a bit of a trek. I was glad. I know it was just because I heard Bulldog. The last time I joined a party inside the server, I couldn't see the pips. And apparently that's quite common, I heard. We're about halfway through just on alone. But surprisingly not as much as I thought we were going to have, so that's an interesting factor. Yeah, so yeah, the distribution centers are looking really, really cool, and could prove to be quite interesting in terms of tactical, like for different kinds of ops we could have. Because you've got legal and lawful and illegal sort of things to it, but like doing combat missions inside the lawful, doing combat missions inside it in like a legal sense is gonna be mega interesting, considering just how many dudes there are. But I'm also liking the fact that we're seeing the new UI being implemented in these things as well. I'm like, ooh.
323 is gonna have plenty. The hangars will be far better for training as well, when you'll be able to lay out cargo around the actual hangar and run around them.
I mean, one thing I wasn't too sure about was when they said personalized hangars, I mean, do they mean like a specific hangar? I'm guessing it just means by what station, basically. Like the inventory of the station is what you have inside this hangar bay, is that right?
I don't know. It might be that it's persistent from, like, when you call a ship to a hangar, your hangar. But I don't know. They can't really do that persistently, because the hangars are different sizes, and you get one depending on what ship you pull. So I don't know how they're going to do it. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, my thought process was, like the inventory you have at a station with, like, different components and whatnot, it'll basically depend on what station you're at. So each station will obviously have its own particular cargo, and depending on how much cargo you have at said station, so for example, you could probably have an option with your ships at the station. You can basically, when you're in the hangar bay, it's like, right, let's transfer all this shit off into the into the internal cargo bay, and you basically just have to manually unload stuff. So potentially tedious, one could say, because if going by the logic that they're having here, anytime you want to do any kind of transportation, you're going to have to manually load shit, which, I mean, for me, it's just like a dream come true. But, like, to some other people, may not be so much. Then again, I suppose...
No, it becomes considerably more painful if you load your ship, fly out, and it blows up. It's like the same as before, just much worse.
That's true. That is true. Or you load up your ship, and just before you're about to head out, 30k.
Well, that should recover, in theory.
Well, I know about the replication layer thing is going to be a bit more... They're finally going to actually start iterating some of the fixes for that, but I'm a little skeptical as to whether or not it's going to fully work the way they intended it to do. Because to be in a world where 30k doesn't actually mean that much is, well, it's a nice concept, but...
I see what you're saying, but even now, it might not always recover from a 30k, but you don't lose your stuff nearly as much.
I mean,
It's the randomly exploding that's the problem at the moment.
I mean, it depends on the environment you're in and how strong and how lag-filled the server is. If they can reduce the lag of the server, the chances of ships randomly exploding, because I assume the reason why they randomly explode, finger quote, is because they hit something but you couldn't see it because the server wasn't able to process it. The server FPS was not able to render it in front of you fast enough.
Well, that's part of it, yeah. Don't know though.
Or you could just have a schizophrenic ship.
Alright, I'm on the ground at the station.
Oh.
I will wait for you here. I guess that's the plan.
Indeed it be. Hang on, let me just quickly...
I'm going to go to the kitchen.
I'm wondering, if I leave this ship as such here, it's not going to disappear, is it? No.
Well, you'll have to fly it back, surely.
Yeah, sure.
Or do you mean the one you're salvaging?
The one that I'm salvaging.
Yeah, maybe finish that mission. I don't know.
Well, the thing
If you
is,
can.
if I finish, the thing that I'm worried about is because we can't set a beacon for it yet. So if I was to leave it, or if I was to finish it and then leave it, there's no guarantee I could find it again. And
Right.
since we need to break the ship apart, take the pieces piece by piece, I'd have to like do something else. So what I was thinking of was, if I get the ship out now, you know, I come to you, we get the ship out, and then you park your ship next to mine, so that when I do finish the mission, we can then... Ah, cool. Oh, shit. Yeah, so in theory, then I could basically just... That way then we can just immediately, like, transfer the stuff between the two.
I will just follow your lead. Let me know when you're here, because I'll be in the kitchen.
Copy. I'm almost here, to be fair. I'm just making my way towards the nearest pad. Because... Right, so where's the nearest pad? And am I flying upside down? Pad number... Right. Oh. Right. Right, so... Pad number 1, fantastic. Okay. Right, I'm in the lobby. I'm making my way over to my ship. Hello, Senpa. Right.
Welcome to the ASOT Vehicle Retrieval System.
Retrieve.
Vehicle selected. Your vehicle has been delivered to the
Fantastic.
Visit us again.
I see you've donned my uniform. Only minus the helmet. Right, so... Yeah, hang on, number 1. Senpa. Actually, to be fair, this is a good opportunity to have a drink. Question, does this place have a drink stand area? Let's have a little look-see. Oh, bin
do.
numbers. Oh, is that? Cool. Right,
I'm
I'm on...
just in the kitchen, but I'll be there in like 2 seconds.
That's fine.
Have you
I'm on...
spawned?
Yes, I have. It's on hangar L... it's on hangar 1. Oh, it's this place. Right, okay. Oh, your marker's disappeared for some reason.
Yeah, I do.
Right. What's up? Right, let's go into this. Do you have a tractor beam attachment on your multi-tool?
I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look. 1 second.
To be fair, it's not the end of the world if you don't.
I do.
Fantastic.
Well, I wouldn't have the tool for any other purpose.
Oh. Okay. Right. I'm gonna. You can take off and. Question: if I'm not the if you're the pilot, can you? But not the owner of the ship. Can you still request to leave the hangar bay?
I don't believe so.
Oh.
If you want to see if you can do it from your
It's already open apparently.
friends list, is it? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm looking up that now.
Okay. Well, let me check
Yeah, sure.
from my perspective.
Yeah, no,
It's
don't
not
hesitate.
open from my perspective.
Is it not?
So, no.
Right.
So if you want to try from your friends list, otherwise you're going to have to jump into the pilot seat quickly.
That's fine. Friends list.
That did not do a thing. So if you want to come hop on board, let me get the doors, then I can close them again later.
Okay.
Are they responding to you when you call?
Not sure. Doesn't seem like it.
Okay.
It's probably because I'm not in the ship. I kind of have a feeling that that's the problem with the what we're trying.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Did the exterior not open?
What the Well,
I told it to open
Yeah, the-
exterior.
Yeah, the exterior opened, so that's fine. It was just more the thing. Right, so if you hop out the seat, then I'll hop in, and then if I take off, it should work, theoretically.
I just need to do the call ATC
The thing
from
is,
the pilot seat.
on my screen, it's actually, the doors are open.
Yeah. But things are being weird. So. So fear, if you fly through that, we will explode.
You're clear to launch.
Okay, so it's giving me the clear to launch thing, but it's not opened the doors. Well, it has opened the doors. There we go. We're out.
Yeah, but you're in the seat now.
True. Right. I'm gonna go find my ship.
Did you just EVA in, did you?
Yeah, EVA'd in. So I was over on pad 1.
I see.
So where be my vulture? There be my vulture.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Is there like a secondary exit from this ship, or is it just the
It's the ramp, I think.
Copy that.
I've not been on one before.
What, the C1?
Hmm.
What do you think? Oh.
Just a small C2.
But a more manageable ship. Right. Right, feel free to hop into the ship, and then you can follow my lead. Even though you can't... So, yeah, I've lost your pip. Have you lost my pip?
It's fine. Nope.
Okay, good. Alright. Do. Oh. Yeah, one thing I'm very much looking forward to is the change of the 0G thing. That will be useful. Right. Taking off. You're all good. Right, I will start making my way towards the salvage claim. Luckily for us, where this location is, like where this particular ship is, it's in the clearing.
Are you doing a flip and burn?
Flip and burn indeed.
Okay.
And I was a little bit short. Last time I did it, I was less than 1,000 meters away.
Okay. You are going to need to share the mission
Copy.
because I'm getting trespassing.
Oh shit. Okay, sure thing. Okay. Share.
Okay, good.
And you're all good to come in?
Well, the trespassing went away.
Yay!
I just had to burn away for a bit, which was a bit annoying because I was right behind you.
Oh, apologies. I was a bit worried it would take you... I was a bit worried for a second it might charge you 20,000 again. Because, you know...
Don't know, did it?
Check your balance.
Well, I don't know what I had before, so...
Well, you're broke now. I'm sorry.
No, I've got 1.7, I think.
Woo! Right.
Not worried about it.
Okay. Let's have a look. See.
Okay, it's green for me now, so that's fine.
Oops. Meant to do the lights. So there is like processed foods and the like in there, but they're not really worth that much in comparison to what we're aiming for here. It's the scrap is probably just the most valuable thing we want to have with this. But yeah, I do like the C1 Spirit. It definitely feels like the right kind of ship. And one could hope the challenger to the Cutlass Black. In terms of like the answer for everything. The only thing you can't really answer it for is the two-player thing. But that's the only thing. Okay. Right. Oh. What? Yeah, there's like 1 ACU's worth of gold in here, plus like, obviously we're coming up for 7 SCU's worth of just scrap on the side thing before, so could be interesting. Oi. Come on. Who's a good bit of scrap? Come on. There we go. Almost got it. Almost got it. I was gonna say, Semper, for an intermediate ship, because we've got the basic ship in the form of the Vulture, and we've got the Citadel version of the salvaging in the form of the Reclaimer. But for like an intermediate ship, what company, what ship designer do you think will go for it?
For salvage?
For salvaging. My guess is going to be Argo, because despite being an industrial ship manufacturer with modularity in its design, we've only seen 2 real archetypes for its job role, which is just cargo transportation and mining. So I would like to see something like, such as, I'd like to see something such as salvaging, because you could totally have those little sack thing you have for like mining and instead use them for salvaging. And that would make transporting it a hell of a lot easier.
It would, but they could just as easily design those things.
Hey, we got room for one if somebody wants to come do Helldivers, and it works a little.
Hey, Bulldog.
Hey.
Just doing some scrooping.
Okay. We got one. Somebody wants to come join in the Helldivers. Network seems to be a little bit more stable now.
Oh, that's good. I know that they said that they've been making some improvements over the week. Did you hear about the extra EXP?
Yeah.
I will join you at some point this evening for that, or tomorrow at some point. I'm actually on holiday now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna go back over there with Britain and Birdseye. Nimbus is AFK, has been for a bit. So, but
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
I'll see you guys later.
See you later. Yeah, like I personally think the Argo would be that, or Misk. Misk might be another company that could do that.
Nah, I think Misk has already got too many interests.
I'll agree, but none of that. We haven't really got that many in the verse yet. We've got mining, we've got cargo, but that's about it. We don't have the refining ship, at least not yet. But I will concur that they do have quite a lot of varieties of ship. They also have like they have the most ships with the most variants in Star Citizen, don't they?
Hmm.
Because like, where are you? You are there, cool. There we go. Because I know that they have like the Freelancer series, which is just ridiculous with how many variants they have. And then you've got the Hull series with its ridiculously large cargo transportation. And that ship is going to be... That's going to be... I feel kind of sorry for that ship, because I feel like that ship's announcement and implementation is not really... Not that it's not the right time for it, but I feel like no one really wants to... No one's going for it at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've not seen one since its release. And despite the hype that supposedly was there, I've yet to see one outside the verse.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter right now, but the tech does.
I mean, the technology, I agree, it is important, but it's more. But it's a bit of a shame considering that the Hull C was such a fated ship, and now it's like they're just sitting there like, "Yep, I'm here. Would love it if someone would use me."
I don't think it matters. It's on my list of a very small list of ships that I intend to have
Oh, you do actually
for
have
launch.
You.
I don't have one right now, but
I never knew you were into cargo hauling.
well, I didn't say that I was.
Oh no, but like I kind of figured going down the Hull series was more for like a dedicated. Oh, I say dedicated, but you know, like you're not just doing it because it's sort of benefit. It's not like certain ships with internal cargo bays you have, like for example the C series, because it's like, hey, I want to do slightly more than box missions, and as such,
I think the C has an incredibly large cargo capacity for the size of its ship, which makes it very efficient as a support ship. But it's a support ship that needs to be kept away from combat
I mean, if
or
you're,
threats.
if you're talking about the Hull C, then I don't know how
Yeah.
you could utilize that for support, considering I always felt that the Hull C, and I think that's the intention of its design, is it's basically like a container ship. You know, it doesn't have any ready to deploy items. It's just literally everything's
doesn't
in a
need
box.
to. But in terms of getting stuff from one place to another, the most efficient way to transport it is in the highest density of material for the lowest possible cost of
Oh yeah, true.
maintenance and fuel and manpower. And the whole D is considerably larger, and the whole B is considerably not worth it. The C fits a nice niche that corresponds to around about
Yep.
the sphere of influence of a small group.
Oh yeah, that
But we'll
easily.
see. It's highly speculative, but
What do you
Yeah.
feel about the merchantman in comparison?
I have zero interest in it.
Oh yeah.
I never have done. Always kind of felt it was a bit of a gimmick,
I will agree.
but then don't really care
But-
about alien ships.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Xeno ships myself either, but it was more to do with the fact that it was a large internal cargo bay than anything else.
And it's
I-
also a large package.
True.
The more you can do with the smallest footprint, it's a balance, right? You go too small, you lose that economy of scale. You go too big, you've got too much resource in one place that is beyond what you actually need, which incurs a higher cost and a higher risk. So finding that balance in complementary ships.
Yeah, I get you on that.
And just having a whole sea with its capacity doesn't mean you have to fill it up either.
I mean, true, but the thing is, if you can get the capacity of a whole sea and fill it up, I mean, for example, the other thing you could have, which is something that I didn't think about until just now, is in terms of relation to base building, you could have a whole sea just chock full of like building materials. So you could like
You could.
have an entire fucking facility's worth of materials ready to go for that.
Small facility. But that depends on the cost of building, which we have absolutely no measurement for whatsoever just now.
I mean, true.
So we'll have to see. But for building a small base or a medium base, you wouldn't expect to have to use large ships, because a small or a medium-sized base could not support large ships. So
I reckon what you could do is you could land a ship outside the perimeter, a bit like in Lorville. There's like an outside perimeter to the base, so maybe not land inside the base, but you could have one outside the perimeter, and as long as you've got a few mule trucks at the ready, you could transport a whole bunch of stuff inside. I mean, to be fair, when they can do like a trailer for a truck or something like that, or if we can get like mules with that stuff in, that might be a plan.
yeah, I mean, can you make it work? I'm sure you can, but is it worth doing? The goal would be to have sized buildings that match. Like, you don't want to land a facility to resupply your ship or repair it or something and wipe out the entire stockpile at that facility,
I was thinking
and
more
then
like- yeah,
go
yeah.
away, do your thing, come back, and it's still having not recovered. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by support.
Oh, yeah,
Can you do it? Yes. Is it sustainable and efficient? Very much not so.
Oh no, it was more like in
So-
terms of the construction. So like as part of the construction process, I'd have the facility built, have the ship land on the outside, and then upon the completion of the facility, then obviously we could go in towards like making sure that the facility was being used as it necessary in that regard. I may, to be fair, be tempted in like if the facility was utilizing resources. So let's say, for argument's sake, it was a manufactorum of some sort. I would be tempted to deploy. I would be tempted to have stuff that could be deployed onto the. I say deployed, but I would be tempted to like put some kind of thing to boost the production, to overstock some of the internal supply. So if it's consuming X amount of iron per hour, I may be tempted to have a large ship land on the outskirts and allow me to transport additional stacks of iron into the storage depot so that we can have an overflow to start with. And then just someone who's operating the facility would be like, right, I need you to use the materials inside, and then once you've run out of those, move the iron that's outside the warehouse into the warehouse, and then proceed to cook the materials inside there as well.
I mean, that's it's certainly feasible to use ships as additional storage. Statically, I think it's probably going to be the wrong move.
Oh no, I wouldn't say as a
Because
permanently
it's-
idea. Yeah.
No, but just like we're going to have to in future very much look at the numbers and see what kind of workflows make sense for expansion and consolidating a position. I mean, there's different phases, right? There's initial. Once we get in game initially, it's basically expansion, right? Because you have to go somewhere new and start building something.
I'd also say
But then you get to
experimentation.
consolidate your position around where you've expanded to, and then there's a whole balance of, depending on what other people are doing in combat and stuff, you either have to contract or expand, and you continue that cycle. So how we do that will be dependent on the resource requirement and the time frames. Basically, how fast can we get resource and how much is needed, and what ships do we have, and how long is it going to take. Once we know those numbers, which we will before the game goes live for sure, because we'll have tested it all beforehand.
Would you say
Once we know that, then we can start figuring out more. How long does a ship get left somewhere with resources in it? Like, it's very difficult to really say anything specific,
I mean, to be
other than that I do think that bases will always be built by smaller ships initially,
and then
resupplied by bigger ships on a rotation around smaller locations that are growing. I think the bigger ships will have to operate out of bigger locations.
Sorry, just got the image of someone being the Royal fucking Mail.
Yeah. To be perfectly honest with you, I do not necessarily think it's going to be practical when the game officially launches, right? I don't think people are going to be going in game and pulling out their large ships and using them right from the beginning. I think we'll all have to start with reasonably small ships, because you just simply won't be able to start with large ships and maintain that.
I mean, I reckon
You'll have to get supply running first.
I reckon people who practice. I think people. What probably will happen is in the build. So let's say, hypothetical. But no, not hypothetical. It will happen. Positive thinking. Let's say that patch 1.0, game 1.0, game's gonna go live. Here we go. We're in the PTU, or we're getting to the either Carty and we're going into the PTU. I reckon the build up towards the release, people will just be running through drills, like you said as well, where you'll be practicing and building up, so that by the time the game goes live, it's almost as if we're going into an actual combat zone, or we're going into a war zone. All the players will have known or know what to do, how to play, how to roll, how to do this. They'll have spent years practicing how to make money really quickly, so that by the time the game's been out for, let's say, I want to say somewhere in the region of like a day, maybe two, you'll already have players who are millionaires, basically funding and starting to build up the process. So I reckon they will be able to use their large ships. The only difference is that I think once they've built up their initial reserve of money, they're probably going to use their ships sparingly, depending on whether or not they have the insurance on them, whether or not they want to have the exposure, because I think information on what you're doing will be just as crucial as the facilities themselves.
I agree and I don't. And let me give you an example. Let's say you have a group of 10 people, right? They do what you just said. On launch, they launch in, one person has a reasonable sized ship. I don't know, say something like a Carrack, right?
Yeah.
They load in, they spawn their ship, it comes with a tank full of fuel and full HP. Everybody else spawns little ships and goes about their business. So you've got a Carrack doing whatever Carrack things it needs to do, and you've got the other 8 or 9 people, depending if there's anybody else on the Carrack, gathering resources and earning credits, right? What I'm suggesting is that carrack will potentially run out of fuel faster than the other people are making the resources to offset that loss of fuel on the carrack. I think that carrack will then end up out of fuel without them being able to afford to get it back in service, and whoever was using the carrack is going to end up in a smaller vehicle.
I mean, I get. I can get where you're coming from.
So,
The logistic structure isn't there
yeah.
in terms of. I mean, the assumption would be as
So-
well, like the cost of fuel will become vastly larger than it is right now, and I don't think that will be as much of a factor depending on the sectors. I think we're also making the assumption that they're going to be operating in low sec. I reckon a fair few people who will use larger vehicles will probably be in the higher sectors, I reckon.
Yeah, let me finish my thought.
Oh, sorry.
So that's an example, right, of a group of people. One person uses a big ship, the rest are using more sensible sized ships for what they have access to, resource-wise. That probably is doable, right? 10 people working together to support using a ship like carrack size.
Yeah.
Right? It's more than the crew of the carrack. You kind of think, I think for every ship, you have to think crew size for operating the crew, or operating the ship, and doing all the auxiliary tasks like manning stations when needed, doing the engineering bits, doing repairs, ferrying stuff to and from cargo bay, etc., flying it, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
So the crew plus a percentage of the crew cost for other ship functions to support that ship longer term with the resources it needs. So the problem I see is the example I gave may well be sustainable for a group to work around supporting their fleet appropriately sized for the group of people. But what I think will happen is that well, it shouldn't happen, because as we get nearer and nearer to launch, the numbers will become more and more known, and so people will be able to plan for it. But I think right now, if we were to go into a launch scenario with the end numbers, you'd end up with the majority of people spawning ships that they can't support and relying on other people, but the other people are also going to be using ships they can't support, and so on and so on. So rather than 10 people with one carrack and other ships, it's going to be more akin to like 10 people with 5 carracks, all relying on 5 people to support them. And there's going to be a lot of stranded people out there when they can't afford to, when they run out of fuel or whatever, or ammo, if they're a combat ship, and then realize they can't spend the whole time doing that because everybody else wants to do stuff too. And we'll see. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. You look at a large org, you think everybody's going to jump in and spread out like a rash, trying to conquer the universe and racing to make lots of money. But the balance of gameplay to desired gameplay to maintenance and combat, like in resupply, is going to be very, very different in balance to now, and people are going to be far more dependent on the people that do want to do dedicated logistical tasks. So the orgs that succeed in the early days, I think, are going to be the ones that have the strong core of resource extraction, refinement, and transport. Those are going to be the guys that are key to upholding an org. And the orgs that are all combat focused are going to have some significant problems.
Well, you always need logi, so yeah, I would agree. So here's the question then: if we're going on, because it makes sense what you say. There's not going to be a logistic system in place to start with. As such, lots of players are going to be kind of caught out. How long do you think it will take before a rudimentary logistic system that is sustaining will be created to the such degree that players can have multiple carracks within a single group and still be able to be self-sufficient, or do you feel that that's not likely to occur until like the players, until further down the line?
I think it can occur in smaller groups where there's a symbiotic relationship between a group that wants to do one type of gameplay and a group that can support that and is happy to have someone to support, right? Having someone to support gives logistics people purpose, and having logistics people to support you gives everybody else the freedom to operate. But I think it will be a factor of size for self-sustaining groups. If groups will only work within their own group and not network, then I think it'll be a factor of the size of the group as to what ships they can support and how many, because as with the real world, logistics and manufacture and stuff, it all has economies of scale. The smaller you are, the longer it takes for the same quantity. So the bigger you are, the more of a boost you get, which means the more leeway you have to be more liberal with your spending your resources. So I think smaller orgs will struggle if they're trying to do everything themselves, which is kind of why I want to network smaller medium groups together, right?
Makes sense.
So we can have that kind of relationship. Because some orgs will be dedicated on combat, and that will make them better than if they were trying to do multiple gameplay loops. So to have an org or a group focused on one task and doing that, and then another group focused on another task that supports them, I think as long as the networking's there, that is a very powerful thing over a single group that tries to do all of those things. Because in that group, people will bounce around a lot more and not be as reliable. I think it takes a very robust community to both socially and functionally sustain itself like that over a certain number. So I'm sure some orgs will manage it, but I think the majority of big orgs will struggle very quickly. But I could be wrong. That's what makes life interesting.
I'm gonna quickly...
I am 30k, by the way. Let me see if I can load back in.
Copy that. Well, I'm by the ship, so I'm gonna quickly park up behind the Spirit. Were you in the pilot seat at all?
Yep.
Copy. When you hop back in, don't reverse. I'm kind of gonna do
Wasn't planning on going anywhere.
I'm gonna do like a back-to-back sort of thing. Of all the times, I really wish I had a rear view mirror.
Well, technically you do, don't you?
Kind
There's
of.
a look behind button.
Which button is that?
I don't know. I don't know how to use it. Okay, I spawned in a hab, so unfortunately I will not be in your ship. Just give me a second. I am
fine.
70 kilometers away, so I'm in the station.
Okay. Have you got like a starter ship you can claim?
Yep.
Sweet. Alright. Wow. Wario. Right. Right. Oh, fantastic. Boop. Oh, that's so cool. Right, okay. Right. Only downside is they're all 1 SCU's worth of cargo, which is just not dandy. Oh, just biffed into my ship. Boop. Right. Let's have a look. See. Auto reject.
This station has a very strange layout.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I would advise caution. Keep your suit on at all times in that area, because I genuinely think there are zones that are exposed to vacuum even though you're inside a ship.
Hmm.
Like, it's genuinely, The, like, the actual station itself is, yeah, like, I think, you can't get to a gallery or anything, it's just, yeah, a bit of a nightmare.
Oh, okay. Had to go past the admin to get to the ship people.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
I don't need to claim a ship anyway, because I flew here, remember? Bulldog.
Oh, welcome back, Bulldog.
Hello.
How goes you today?
I'm okay.
I'm just, to be fair, you'd be impressed. I'm loading, I'm emptying out my SCU of, on my Vulture, and I'm putting it into my C1. And I'm just using the tractor beam device to swap, to literally go from cargo bay to cargo bay.
Wait, you have 2 ships at a salvage site, and you're...
Yes. So I'm salvaging with the Vulture because I don't have the Reclaimer. And so I'm taking the C1 Spirit, which Semper's very kindly chilling out with me here on, and then I'm gonna try and do multiple runs on some on said ships, and then I'm gonna there we go. I'm then going to hang on, I'm just trying to pop this thing out. Then I'm going to have a larger profit margin, because like rather than emptying the cargo off just the Vulture, which gives me like about 80 to 90 at a time, it's like this is going to give me far more like stuff in terms of money, and then that means that also it might make a little bit more profit a little bit faster, and it's kind of like the only way we can kind of make an intermediate ship.
I'm afraid I don't think I can come back to you, Mr. Jaeger.
Trespassing.
Hmm.
Wait, what if I just share?
Don't have. You can try sharing it again.
Oh,
this
no,
time I'll look at my money.
Shit,
You've completed it.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just wait out here then.
I'll be as quick as I can.
It's fine. I won't be able to come in until you.
I mean, I'm just breaking up the ship now.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious why there's a comms array.
What do you mean? Like, we're in comms array range?
Yeah, I suppose we are. That's not mission related. Got it.
Okay. Whee! There you go. Right. Don't think I'm going to be able to salvage the entire ship, but it's something.
What are we weighing at?
Hmm?
What are we weighing at?
Not sure.
Hmm.
I was just needing to get the. I'm almost finished with the amount that we've got because I've got like very carefully nudge this thing. Right. If I can take this piece and dump it in. Right. Scroop this and then try and take the other bits piece by piece, and I should be able to fill up the internal thing. But Bulldog, if you're up for a salvage run,
I'm still doing helldiver things.
fair enough.
I need to finish upgrading my ship.
I'm making up my mind whether or not I should order out some food. I had a soup earlier, but I'm still feeling a bit hungry, and I'm like, I could order something because everything else in my home would require me to do something to cook, and it's like I really can't be bothered to cook. Right, there's that stuff. Okay, so salvage that. More to the point, I'm just curious as to why it's still considered trespassing, even though we're not doing anything. Ah, that sucks.
What does?
The amount of material that this thing has got, I've got in front of me, it's got it's 24 SCUs worth of cargo, so I can't get the entire thing in. So I'm curious to see what happens if I do scroop this thing. I'm assuming just not everything goes into my cargo bay.
Yeah, you'll fill up and then there'll be some left, I would have thought.
My thoughts as well, but I'm curious.
Well, you crack it, and then it breaks into chunks, and then you consume those chunks, so you just wouldn't consume all the chunks.
Yeah, it's a large chunk though. I've already cracked and opened up the other sort of chunks. So my question is it just gonna be all scrooped and then whatever, or is it gonna be
Learning experience,
Yeah, pretty
that's what
much.
it's going to be.
That's what I am. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. I mean, once I've emptied the vulture out of all the other malarks, I can just kind of abandon it. Kind of. I could just reclaim it then, and then everything should be fine. Right, it's just scrooping up now. Oh yeah, it's full.
So what do you want me to do with the C1?
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna empty the. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna empty the vulture in. Empty the vulture's contents into the C1, and then I'll fly over to you, and then.
Here's a different idea. If you fly over to me.
Yeah.
If you've got a marker for your C1, if you fly over to me in your vulture, we'll swap.
Okay.
And then you can fly back to the C1 in my Pisces, and you won't get the trespassing.
I don't seem to have a marker for my C1 for some reason.
You're in third person right now.
First person. All I have is the CF 2076 FX. Again, I don't mind. Like, I don't mind abandoning the vulture once I've gotten the.
Okay.
Oop.
Whatever you want to do.
No, it's fine. I'm just kind of. I realize this is a really awkward way of doing things. Unfortunately. Right, hang on. Alright, so then if I go down and then stop. Perfect. Okay. And then face. Okay, that's something at least. I said, like, the main intention here is just to see if it's possible to do the thing. Obviously... There we go. And that's all construction materials. Open the door. Ah, okay. Shit. Okay. I think we can. Hey, Reynolds.
Ho ho ho, what is this?
Hello.
Me doing a live stream of trying to scroop and having to do an awkward way of doing salvaging. Oh god. Trying to do like a sort of a workaround thing. This is going to be so much easier when we have our own internal hangars. So much easier.
Soon, Jaeger. Very soon.
Oh, I know. Like, I'm just, at the moment, I'm basically unloading. I'm unloading materials from my vulture into the C1 directly. So.
Oh god. I'm playing with one normal dude, a Frenchman, and apparently a fucking hillbilly.
That is not a good thing to play against.
Jaeger, did you see the Star Citizen live?
Not the live, but I saw the Thursday video.
We might possibly be graced by the CIG devs, Lord, Savior, parachutes, potentially.
Parachutes?
You know how far beyond speculation that is, right?
I'm just messing, dude.
I would say, like, parachutes? In this game?
I know. I said it like that because of the fact that they said no to drop pods. They're like, well, you won't get drop pods, but we might give you parachutes if we're feeling like it.
But why not just have airbags?
I don't want. Why the fuck? This far futuristic of a space game, why the fuck would you not have drop pods? Seriously, what the fuck?
I mean,
Okay.
I agree. I think
More
they should be.
expensive than parachutes.
I mean,
Well,
to be fair, I
listen.
think. Oh.
To clarify, because I don't want to be like stirring up hate or anything, right?
Oh no, of course.
They said a very long time ago. There's a very long time ago, they released some squadron footage or something, and it showed drop pods, and people were like, "Oh, are we gonna get these in the PU?" And the devs were like, "No." And this is very
No.
old information,
Pod.
so I don't know what the stance currently is, but they were just like, "No, you're not getting them. Don't ask. Squadron 42 only."
Oh, that sucks.
And everyone was like, "Oh."
I mean, I get the logistics side of it because obviously, in terms of like the site.
I don't understand what the hell just happened to me.
Oh no. Oh, phew.
So there's the logistics side, right? But there's
Well,
also
I know that, but it didn't give me the countdown timer or tell me that I was out of bounds or anything.
Oh, okay.
It just started killing me.
Yeah, I mean,
The
yeah.
I think the lore explanation is going to be there's a certain ship that has drop pods in it, and that ship is only available to the military. I'm gonna assume that's what they're gonna say.
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't mind if we had some kind of disposable drop pod.
Well, the Carrack technically those things in the Carrack, you can drop them.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Supposedly.
whether or not you could survive the drop is another matter entirely. And if you're trying to drop something in the middle of a combat zone, I don't think relying on a civilian model version of a Carrack is going to be what would be considered to be the intelligent decision.
I think the Carrack is like the same as like fighter jets in real life. It's just a really old, decommissioned military vehicle.
Right.
I don't think they change anything on it. It's like one of those things where it's so old that they now just sell it to civilians.
I mean, maybe. I mean, a lot of the ship designs we have in game are at least, maybe a couple of, with maybe a few exceptions, they're like what, 50, 60 years old. I mean, with ships designs as the Gladiator or the...
100.
Oh yeah. Like there are hundreds at least. Yeah.
The Titan. I know the Titan's like 150 years old. I think the Carrack's like 100. I think the Gladiator is also. I think the Gladiator might be more on the 50 mark.
Yeah, maybe.
Which wouldn't make sense. Well, I guess it would make sense. I know because the Anvil's like the new contractor, so
yeah,
it would.
Well, yeah, the Anvil are the technically good guy contractor rather than Aegis.
Well, Aegis is just an old contractor.
But they still can be used in that respect.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like Aegis, Drake is more the bad guy contractor, if anything.
I mean, I would say neutral is probably the, like, I would say.
Well, then who's the bad guy contractor then?
If we had to talk bad guy contractor, I would say, to be fair, a bit of a leap, you could say, but Xperia, because they don't exactly change the design mechanics of the ships they redesign. So, for example, the oh hello, I can't start the ship up. The fuck? Is my ship bugged?
Possibly.
Oh, that would really fucking suck.
Well, I was in it, the pilot seat, when I 30k'd, wasn't I?
Yes, you were. I was able to get into it. And I popped into it.
Well, Sniper's in the pilot seat. The whole ship's unusable.
I'm in a different pilot seat, apparently.
But... yeah. It's not going to work, is it?
I don't know. Why don't you...
I can't get out of the ship seat now. Like, I have the option to, like, open exteriors, exit and whatnot, but it's not letting me do anything.
Okay.
So, I think it is bugged.
I'm going to come back and see if it tells me I'm trespassing again.
I mean, I cleared the area, but the problem is I now can't get out of the cockpit. Like, I'm pressing all the buttons and everything, and it's not doing anything. Are you getting a trespassing thing?
Mm-hmm.
Get out, then get out.
I am doing.
Yeah. No, I think... Fuck, this is a bit of a waste. Yeah, I'm just going to have to... I can't leave the ship unless I suicide. I don't really want to do that, so... Just have to probably go back to menu. Fuck. Well, everything would have been fine. Unfortunately, just 30k ruined it, but, you know. Star Citizen. Well, lesson learned. When waiting for the ship to be sorted, don't... in case of 30k, don't remain in the pilot seat until... And I know you can't really predict when a 30k will happen, but if you're not doing anything for long periods of time, stay out the pilot seat, perhaps. I don't know. Oh well. Yeah, like I'm stuck. I can't even leave the ship. Actually, if I do this, what happens? Oh wow, the ship doesn't even do the self-destruct thing. Yeah, it's effectively dead. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to menu, I'm afraid. Yeah. Fuck it. Oh, damn it.
Oh no.
That really sucks. Yeah. If you bear with, I'm just gonna get something off Just Eat. I think I'll probably wrap up the stream for today. And what I'll do is I'll probably try and rejoin you with you in that verse, Semper. We could try and do some like things. But yeah. No, I'll mute myself on Discord whilst I wrap the stream up, and then I'll be back in a sec. So 1 moment. Right. Well, unfortunately, can't odds it. Unfortunately, the Star Citizen giveth, Star Citizen taketh. I think probably what would make more sense for future reference is just do the other version where we just, for the sake of safety, probably just go with like the small cutter style ship, and then try and like get something and put it into other things. So like the thing is, unfortunately, I think the plan would have worked out a little bit better, and I think it was definitely in the process of functioning, but unfortunately, thanks to the 30k, we kind of had all that effort was a bit of a waste, which is a bit of a shame, but you can't odds it. I mean, it's Star Citizen. This is what happens. You play Star Citizen, you talk positive about Star Citizen, so obviously it then crashes on someone, and that just fucks up everything. So, but hey, I had some fun doing this, and if you like this kind of content, as I said, this was a very, very relaxed, not doing much stream. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Not sure when I'll be on again, but as I'm now off,